ESFP, which is one of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. Now, one of the things about ESFPs is that you're going to see a big variety of them. There are lots and lots of ESFPs in the world, and therefore you're going to get different variations of that type. I like to say that there's one ESFP for everybody out there. There are some ESFPs that when they call me, I'm like, oh yes, I can't wait to talk to her. Like, she is so much fun. She's so cool. I'm so happy. And then there are other ESFPs that I'm like, but that's because there are so many of them. I like them because they're warm, they're likable, they're fun, they're engaging. They're usually pretty outgoing, enjoy life and living. They are very much in the moment, very practical. Well, what are we doing right now? So they're very focused on what they see, what they hear, what they touch, what they taste. They really like engaging their senses and just enjoying life. They don't want to be too bored. It would drive them crazy to just be simply a homebody and I do nothing. They know how to be laid back, they know how to relax, they know how to take it easy. My favorite things about ESFPs is their ability to go with the flow. They're not gonna be always keyed up and freaked out. Oh my gosh, gotta do this, gotta do that. They're gonna kind of be easygoing, go with the flow. They also can get what I like to call last minute energy. And they can totally put things together very quickly, make quick decisions. They just work very effectively that way. They may not study for a test way ahead of time. They're the kind that will be staying up until 4 in the morning when they're in college, cramming. Something about that pressure, that intensity, that last minute thing that just gets them energized and they can go into effect and be totally focused and really retain a lot of information. If you work with ESFPs and there's a deadline, there's a crunch, they're great to work with. They can help you put together whatever it is that you're frustrated and freaked out about. They can work very quickly. I've also seen ESFPs be able to multitask very, very, very well. Meaning talking on the phone, writing, talking to you, putting some things together. They're very, very great at that. They don't generally like to use their energy in a super stressful way. They usually like to kind of take their time, go with the flow. Now, some of them will be on time to things and some of them will be super, super, super late. Some of them do not understand the concept of time because it's sort of this free energy. They like to kind of move at their own pace. They don't like to be restricted or constricted or confined. Time can totally get away from them. Many times because they have that ability to use that last minute surge of energy, they think they can get more done in a time period than they actually can. They are generally nice people to be around and a lot of fun. My favorite thing about them is you can be silly with them. They would be bored with a partner who didn't want to go out and enjoy life. You know, somebody that was just a homebody. They can have a sense of humor. Sometimes you can see some comedians who can be ESFPs. They like parties, generally speaking. They just want to have a good time. They are extroverted sensors. That's their number one cognitive function. So they're gonna let you know what they see, what they hear, what they taste, what they touch. They're gonna tell you those experiences out loud. So you're gonna kind of know what they're thinking, what they're feeling. Their second function is introverted feeling. So even though they have introverted feelers, you're gonna see them kind of go with the flow or be able to even handle a crisis with ease because they're not overly emotional in the sense that they are driven by it, but it's more so, what do I value? What is my internal way of doing things? What are my values? What does my value system say? You know, they kind of want to go back to to that. Even though they can get upset about some things, or they can get their feelings hurt, and also have a very caring nature about them, that introverted feeling doesn't necessarily work in a mushy, like, oh my gosh, I'm all over you sort of way. It's more so a gut instinct, and they also want to treat other people the way that they like to be treated, unless they are just totally an undeveloped ESFP type. They don't like fake or shallow. They like to keep it real. They like realness. They can also accept things as they are. In a crisis situation, they're usually not going to freak out, but they can act very quickly because they get that adrenaline rush. So they can be a bit of adrenaline junkies and operate off of that, but they're also not going to get too frazzled about some things that other types are going to get frazzled about. They also don't necessarily like to be defeated by things. They're going to try to conquer it and figure it out. And they also have the patience to really work through things. That sensing comes in, that's very logical. That's going to keep them grounded, because they're going to sometimes want to come up with a, hey, you know what, before we start this creative idea, let's figure it out first, let's look up some things and then execute it. So as far as parenting, of course you're going to get a variety, but I have definitely observed a couple of different types. There's the ESFP that maybe felt very constricted as a kid, so they let their kids run free, go wild. And then I've seen other ESFPs who, you know, because of that FI function, they are very, very disciplined as far as their expectations of their kids and how they expect them to behave. So they crave adventure, the thrill of life. They can also have a lot of friends because they like socializing. So they could possibly get into some unhealthy things if enough of that creative outlet and enjoyable adventure for life doesn't get satisfied. They may overindulge in some things. They can also be very good listeners. Like if you have a problem. I kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the different Enneagram pairings that you will see with this type. So let's talk about the 2, which is the helper. They will help anybody. They believe in really helping people. They are driven by that. They can care very deeply about people and what it is that they're going through with their life. When they have that pairing, they may even have an overactive conscious for helping people. There's a level of guilt. Sometimes that type may take on way too much, or they may kind of become a martyr, where it's like, you know, I enjoy helping people, I enjoy serving people, I enjoy taking care of people, but then at the same time, people can start to take advantage of that, and then they are worn out. So it kind of goes both ways, but they can make people feel deeply cared about when they have that pairing. A lot of times they can be more comfortable with giving than receiving, even though when you give something to them that they really like, oh my gosh, they really enjoy it and they don't mind being sort of that center. They also are going to be a little bit more sensitive to criticism. They like feeling really close to people and having a lot of connections with different friends and different people and relishing that closeness. Otherwise, if they don't have that, they may start to feel a little lonely, a little down, a little frustrated, a little out of touch. So 2s, they will help just about anybody. They're going to have some compassion for the downtrodden, and they are going to help them if they can. So let's talk about the 3 on the Enneagram, the doer. They like that praise, they like that pat on the back, but you're also going to see a little bit more cockiness, a little bit more arrogance, and it's not something that they're trying to project. They just naturally kind of have a confidence. They're going to be connecting with a lot of people. They're going to be doing a million different projects, different things. They really pride themselves in getting lots and lots of jobs done. There's no such thing as too much hard work. Like, they can keep up with thousands and thousands of things. I think if they didn't have a long list of things to do, then they might get bored. They enjoy receiving the accolades that they get. from being so dependable and reliable. You can give them a number of tasks to do and they're going to knock them all out. They also sometimes like to go fast, which they're P's also. So they're going to get that energy, that last minute surge. So they like to do things as quickly as possible. They like to achieve. They like to make good grades. They like to be on top, and they like connecting with different people. They are very busy. They like to make great impressions. People usually like them. So let's talk about the ESFPs, who are the asserters. That's Enneagram 8. Now, because they have extroverted sensing, and they're gonna say what they see, what they hear, when you combine the asserter with this type, they're going to be very blunt. They're gonna be very outspoken. They're going to tell you what they feel. So that type could be a little bit intimidating, but they want to be intimidating sometimes. Let's say they're taking up for their kid. They're going to be very straightforward and let you know that you're not going to mess with my kid, and I'm going to tell you why. You might see a little bit more neck rolling and working. They're going to stand up for themselves. They believe in that, and they appreciate people who stand up for themselves. So it sort of takes some of that sensitive. They're not going to back down, and they may not even mind a good fight every now and then because it's very satisfying to them. They don't want to appear weak. They don't like the way weakness feels, and so they're not going to tolerate that feeling very well. So sometimes that type can come across harshly. I don't know if they're aware of it or they don't care. And it doesn't mean that they can't be nice. And because they're direct, they like being honest. They're going to put everything out there. This is how I think. This is what I feel. If you don't like it, oh well. Let's talk about the 4 on the Enneagram. The 4 would be the individualist, the romantic. They like to be unique. You're going to see the theatrical, the flamboyance. You're going to see lots of rings and jewelry or big hats or, hey, everybody notice me. They're going to be very individualistic and want to be different and want to stand out. So they're going to kind of have some big personalities, but they're also going to probably be a little bit more sensitive, to criticism. They also can go into more of a moody state, depressed mode, and not quite know why. And that melancholy, they kind of like it. And then other times it feels really like, like I'm not feeling this today. Their feelings hurt a little quicker. I'm not talking to you. I'm not speaking to you. I'm mad at you. They can be very flamboyant and fun. So that's kind of a look at different types of ESFPs. I've noticed that some of them can actually be very good at science, engineering. Of course, you're going to see a wide variety of intelligence levels. They can be very, very intelligent and very, very smart people. They may enjoy the moment and pay for it later, but they're going to have fun. They may never get around to that project, but then at the same time, they can be very linear with that sensing function. They are very excited people. They love the hustle and bustle of life. Free spirits. They like juggling lots of different things at the same time, and they're very people-oriented and activity-oriented. They're happy people in general. Their positive energy is infectious. So go out there and make yourself an ESFP friend, and I guarantee you're gonna love being around them. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so you can check out my other MBTI videos, and go out and have an adventurous day. Bye.